Okay, I'm not done talking about Sudan. In my last video, I mentioned that what's happening in Sudan is not just a civil war, it's a full-blown proxy war. And people are dying so that other countries, lots of other countries, some of your favorite countries, can get rich. And unfortunately, that's pretty common. So what's a proxy war? It's basically the punkiest way another country can fight a war. Yeah, I said that. On one hand of a proxy war, you might have a wealthier, more military rich nation that has access to like guns and weapons and bombs and things you need to fight a war. Those might be countries like the United Arab Emirates, Russia, China, Saudi Arabia. On the other hand, you might have a country like Sudan, a country that has been destabilized, stripped of its resources, and just drained by outside interests for decades. Here's the thing no one likes to say out loud. Those wealthier nations didn't always get their wealth from their own land. They got it from extracting from other nations like Sudan. The country is loaded with gold, copper, oil, fertile farmland, and most importantly, its location. Its coastline reaches hundreds of miles on the Red Sea, a location many countries would like to have influence over because it's a major access to trade routes. So in order for these wealthier countries to keep their wealth, they kind of have to keep forcefully taking it. But we live in this pseudo post-colonial world now, so they can't just bring their military barge in there and say they own it. There are now international courts, human rights watchdogs, and global opinions. So these wealthier nations don't want to be seen openly stealing anymore. They don't want the blood directly on their hands. So what do? They wait for an opportunity, a political struggle, a leadership fight, a crack in the system. An opportunity like the power struggle between Sudan's two military groups. I explained it in this video. Then they pick sides, sometimes playing both sides. They send weapons and other equipments with the promises and deals to continue to strip the country of its resources if their side wins. And remember, some countries are playing both sides, so it really doesn't matter who wins here, they're getting their gold. And that's how a civil war that would have lasted maybe just a few months end up lasting years with the help of outside influences. The countries whose land the fighting is happening on becomes the proxy. That's the case with Sudan. Sudan is being used as a proxy for its resources. And I know we all know about the UAE, but it's not just the UAE, it's so many other countries. Russia, China, Saudi Arabia. Allegedly. I want you to remember that proxy wars isn't always just about resources. Sometimes it's about influence, ideology, or just geopolitics. Sudan just happens to involve all of those reasonings. And sometimes it's not always a wealthier country versus a poorer country. Wealthier countries always fight each other for more influence, but it's never directly on their own land, and that's the point of a proxy war. They use other countries as the proxy. An example of that would be the Cold War, where the US and the Soviet Union never fought on their own land. They used countries like Vietnam, Afghanistan, and Angola.